Scandinavia, the 900s. A time when bathing was a rumor, breakfast was beer, and team sports usually meant raiding a monastery. But on this particular day, instead of burning down England, the Vikings decided to have fun. Their version of fun? The Great Axe-Throwing Games. Imagine it. Massive warriors, veins popping, wrapped in fur, hurling shiny death machines at wooden targets while the crowd cheered like it was the Super Bowl halftime show. Except instead of cheerleaders, there were goats. And instead of Beyoncé, there was some drunk bard playing 3 notes wrong on a lute. And in the middle of it all stood the Jarl, the captain, the overlord, the guy whose beard had its own postal code. He wasn't just a leader. He was the symbol of fear, power, and questionable hygiene across Europe. The drums thundered. The crowd roared. An axe flew, spinning through the air like the hand of fate itself, and slammed right into the Jarl's skull. Silence. Then pandemonium. Blood on snow. Bishops. Yes, there were always bishops, screaming. Women fainting. Warriors frozen in disbelief. And one drunk farmer who laughed so hard, he probably invented Viking stand-up comedy. The Jarl, destroyer of villages, conqueror of seas, had just been deleted by his own national pastime. Imagine Genghis Khan getting taken out by a dodgeball. That level of embarrassing. The official story? An accident. A slip of the hand. Please. You don't just accidentally assassinate your own captain in front of half the village. No, this was conspiracy. And the theories? Oh, they multiplied faster than rats in a mead barrel. Some swore the axe was sabotaged, its balance tampered with, its handle shaved crooked, maybe even cursed with secret runes carved at midnight by a witch who got paid in goat cheese. Others pointed to the blacksmiths. They forged every weapon, worked like slaves, and got paid in goats and insults. All it would take was one bribe from a rival clan, and suddenly the Jarl's head was a bullseye. Then there's gambling. Vikings loved to bet. On dice, on wrestling, on which drunk warrior fell into the fire first. Imagine the odds on the Jarl dies mid-sports festival. Somewhere in a smoky tavern, shadowy men in cloaks placed bets, and when that axe struck, they toasted with expensive mead and laughed themselves hoarse. And of course, foreign sabotage. England. Always England. Their spies would do anything to humiliate the Northmen. Picture a Saxon slipping into the crowd, disguised as a pie vendor, making a tiny cut in the handle. One invisible nick, one perfect slice, and suddenly the most feared man in Scandinavia goes down like a sack of turnips. But maybe it wasn't foreign. Maybe it was personal. The thrower himself? Maybe he wasn't unlucky. Maybe he was tired of endless wars, tired of freezing winters, tired of the Jarl's beard oil dripping on his food. So he took his shot, turned rebellion into slapstick, and became the Viking who killed his boss during a carnival. Others whispered about the queen, tired of her husband's arrogance, his stink, his refusal to bathe. Maybe she told a servant to adjust the axe, and when the Jarl dropped dead, she smiled behind her veil. And the darkest rumor of all, the Jarl wanted it. Death in combat, or even in a bloody game, was a first-class ticket to Valhalla. Maybe he saw his time running out, stepped slightly into the axe's path, and thought, "See you at the feast, Odin." Suicide, disguised as sports entertainment. The first Viking halftime show that ended in a beheading. And then, the mystery of the axe. It vanished. Gone. Some say it was buried with him. Others swear it was chopped into relics and sold at pilgrim markets. Get your holy souvenir. 3 silver coins for a splinter of the axe that humbled a king. Still others insist it's hidden in a monastery vault, labeled, "Do not exhibit, too embarrassing." So what really happened? Sabotage? Gambling? Saxon spies? Witchcraft? A bored queen? Or the Jarl's own suicidal sense of humor? We'll never know. But one thing is certain. That axe didn't just kill a man. It killed the illusion that leaders were untouchable. The Vikings learned that day that even the most feared warlord of the North could be taken out not by an army, but by what was basically a Viking carnival game gone wrong. And maybe that's why the story survived. Not because it was tragic, but because it was hilarious. Because for one muddy, bloody, unforgettable moment, the entire village laughed at their captain. And the deadliest weapon in history wasn't the axe. It was laughter.